Is this? Did you get both of mine, or is this the one from earlier? Gosh. My iPad's like stuck in the previous call. Have you seen anything like that before? It's this one, right?
No, it's this one.
Yeah, you need this. There's no other call going on.
So good.
That's where we are.
Oh,
Restuck. Where's this one from?
you left the last meeting.
It's gone now, I think.
Why don't you go to the earlier one from today? Join
This one or this one?
that one.
All right, there we go. Sorry about that. Who else loves a good Teams call? We've all been in before. All right, everybody's got your iPad up, right? Quick show of hands. How many of y'all have touched Playing Grid before? Hopefully everybody. How many of y'all would say you're Playing Grid experts? Build is the next generation of Playing Grid effectively. If y'all have used it before, you're going to find a lot of similarities here, and we're going to see a lot of things that are new, improved, and better. So for any of you who have gotten updates, if you have not, go to your app store if you have not downloaded it yet, and to go search for Autodesk Construction Cloud. This is your standard application for everything we're going to talk about today. Every form you fill out, every photo you take, every plan you access is through one app. Not Raken, not the P drive, right? Or no, P server. Q file, that thing. I knew it was a letter. Not any other tools, you just build. Go ahead and download that and update it. Quick show of hands, who has an up-to-date version? Perfect. Go ahead and open it up and log in. Use the same password you used before. Thumb up if you're logged in. Perfect. So with Autodesk Build, if you had Playing Grid before, we'll see a little slider at the top. So any of your jobs that were in Playing Grid are still in Playing Grid, in progress, you're still going to have here. You're still going to be accessing them in Playing Grid. Starting from Monday, all new jobs are going to be what we call Construction Cloud projects. This is Autodesk Construction Cloud and Autodesk Build, the next generation, the new tool. Made sense so far? How many of y'all have a job already in Build? Handful, 4 out of 5 out of 15. So these are getting spun out. The PMs all got trained on this, so they know, hey, starting next week, we're going to be putting jobs in here, sending them to y'all, putting up their plans, putting up their files, and accessing that. You'll see a list of all your projects. Some are on this device. So how many of y'all have ran out of memory on your iPad before? At least once or twice. You need to know what you have downloaded, of course. Whenever you have a new project, if you're going to have problems, you need to know, hey, I've got 12 jobs, I've got 5 jobs, I've got 1,000 sheets, I've got 12 different files, whatever it would be. On this device are ones we've downloaded. And in the cloud are our new ones. So if you have not yet, please find the Ridgemont Sandbox project and go ahead and click onto it. And I'm going to show y'all some options. So if you click options on your download, you should see something like this. It's important that y'all know what you're pulling to your device because, hey, I can choose whether I want all of my sheets or only select sets. I can pick whether I want all my photos or just a specific time frame. or certain files, folders, and different downloads that you may want. For today, I recommend you take all sheets and all photos and go ahead and click download if you have not yet. It'll give you a little progress bar up here, and it should move Ridgemont Sandbox directly under on this device. May take a second. We're all on the same Wi-Fi, so go ahead and download the project. Pretty familiar so far, similar enough to PlanGrid. Yep, so when you have your download options, there are all sheets, current or none. Are some people not on the Sandbox, Micah, or? Yep, so if you have a question, raise your hand. Carson, can you come help up front? One of the guys will come help you out, make sure you're up to speed. Yep. Yeah, so if you hit back, where's your Ridgemont standardization? Yep, over there on the right. Oh, sorry.
We were trying to hit it, but it wasn't. Oh, there you go.
And then edit download options. So that would give you control over. Oh, yours, I guess I'm out of date. I need to update mine. Yours may look a little different if you've gotten an update more recently than me. I haven't updated mine in a little bit. Same buttons though. Yep, so selectively pulling is usually better, just so you don't worry about like having too much downloaded, because one of the things we'll see, I'll let them figure it out. It's like we got one still downloading. Perfect. What percent? Okay. When you see a green check mark on the project, you're good to go. All right. So when you're on a fresh download, y'all have your green check mark saying you're good to go for the job. You come back the next day, you may see something more like mine. It tells me, hey, there's updates available. It tells me new markups, new RFIs, new meetings, new references, new photos, all this stuff I need to do and grab so I can effectively do my work. So our official recommendation is 2 times per day, morning and afternoon. Just make sure you're getting syncs if you need them. So in my case, if I click on that, it prompts me to sync. So like y'all just downloaded, I'll go grab my new versions, take a minute to go say, hey, all the new data coming in, and y'all will be able to click in when it's green to go into the project. So once it's green, you can go ahead and click into it. And some of this is probably going to start to look pretty familiar. You're going to see things like our home screen. We're going to see, hey, here are the things that I work with regularly. Down at the bottom, like PlanGrid, there are different tools available. Primary ones, your sheets, documents, forms, issues, photos are going to be very similar to PlanGrid. Some of them are just slightly renamed. Does anybody want to guess what files is in PlanGrid's version? Documents. Does anybody want to guess what forms is in PlanGrid? Daily reports is the official one, but that is correct. Issues are renaming of the task system. It's all going to be pretty one-to-one. Those of you who use Playing Grid a lot are going to feel pretty comfortable pretty quick. There's going to be some little things that are slightly different, but overall, the ecosystem is very comparable. So one of the big changes is in our home screen. So you land on this page saying, welcome, Kenneth, to the job. I jump on the job for the first time each day. I can see some important panels. Does your screen look the exact same as mine? No, I've got different things going on than you do. I'm a different person. I've got sheets that I've worked with. I've got different kinds of things assigned to me, and I've got different files I've worked with. You're going to see some other things like project work. These are either general or specific to us. So for our entire project, our entire sandbox that we're all working in together, there's a certain amount of overdue issues or RFIs, different kinds of ongoing items that are being addressed. But I, as Kenneth, have others that are just assigned to me. So one of the big things with build is that all our different workflows usually can end up with assignment. Whose responsibility is it? Who's ball in court for the RFI? Who has the task? Who's filling out the form? Who's doing an inspection? Whatever it would be. I want you all to go on the bottom and click to Sheets. This is probably looking pretty familiar, right? 99% the same. Most of y'all are probably going to have a pretty good experience with this then. Sheets have seen some very minor changes, but overall, the environment is going to be similar. We have 97 total sheets at the top, and I can scroll through to see all my different project plans, separated out by individual disciplines. That prefix of the sheet name, E, M, A, P, S, giving us that sorting. Up in the top right, this is the first occurrence of us seeing our martini glass, aka, what does this look like? A filter. We've all filtered things before. Click on that. We have different ways that we can break down all of our sheet sets. If I just want to see my architecturals, if I just want to see my RCPs, if I just want to see elevations, I can use my different filters to sort through that. So scroll down. Let's look at discipline really quick. One of the automations that Build does is set up your plans based on the prefix. If I just want to see architecturals, if I just want to see electricals, I can break those down and see, oh, I only have 12 plans now, or 12 architectural or electrical or MEP, whatever it would be. Clear that and come back up to tags. Tags are another important one that some of the teams are going to be using from the PM side to distribute these out. What are ones related to demo versus phase one, building one versus building two? Maybe using our trades to separate these out as well. I could go see building one has 21 of our plans. These are specific ones related to that location. Location's a word that's going to come up a couple times, just a place on a project, more or less. All right. And as I come back, I can look at all these plans and see some basic information about them. Title, name, sheet number, and these little guys underneath. Does anybody remember what the crown meant in Playing Grid? Published. There is a markup there that somebody has published. Does anybody remember what the little squiggly means? Correct. Stop answering all of them. Private markups, things you've written, your notes. All right, then let me ask you this one. What does this little fan icon mean? New to him. Those are what we're going to call assets a little later on. And our star is another important one. What do y'all think the star is? Favorites, exactly. We have all these descriptors to show us what these sheets are. So if you look at your list in front of you and my list in front of me, they probably look a little different. I've got my third floor plan up here at the front because it's my favorite sheet on this plan. I've got a little squiggly telling me I've done something on this, but y'all can see your published markups, the ones that other teams have been sending us. You'll notice a lot of these plans already have markups on them because y'all are the fourth session. We've done a lot of exercises. So I want y'all to scroll down. And I want y'all to go to plan A111, our first floor plan. We're going to be here for just a second, but you're going to see a lot of noise already. Different teams have gotten in here, marked it up, made issues, made photos, called out their teammates for fun, measurements, everything that you want to do. This is our, again, living ecosystem. It's all the places you're communicating with your teams to understand what's ongoing with the project. Come back up. Let's go look at the second floor plan. Different teams have done things here. We have all these published markups available, and we're going to go through creating them, publishing them, and seeing each other's work. So I want you all on the sheet screen with me, this complete list. The big thing that comes across in the mobile that does not in web that y'all probably are very familiar with is the search bar. What can y'all search for? Names, titles, text, information on any of these plans. So click into that. And let's go ahead and put something like door, something simple. The word door appears in one of my titles, my door schedule. Simple enough. What's important though is where it appears in content. So flip that to content. Every plan where the word door appears is in this list, sorted by number of occurrences. This is not very useful for something like door, but if you're looking for a specific plan reference, if you're looking for a specific ID, a fixture number, anything like that, it becomes very easy for us to filter. So I could go look at this A0220 sheet, open that up and see, hey, everywhere the word door appears is going to be searched for. We'll see some other wonderful drawings from some of your teammates and peers already. All right.
Really a question. Mine is.
So that depends on like the fonts they use and some of the stuff like that, which is a little hard to diagnose. Agreed. Yeah, and we have some recommendations around that we can send you. They're online. They're on the web somewhere. All right. So, everyone feeling good so far? Slightly differently, but yes, there is a version of it in document. Yep. Correct. We'll show that in just a couple minutes. So I want you all to scroll through, see all our plans, and I want you to pick one that you like. I'm going to go to my 5th floor RCPs because it's a little cleaner. We've messed with a lot of them today. And how many of y'all feel at home in this interface already in the screen? Pretty simple, right? Pretty familiar. Same markup tools, same sheet navigation tools. We're all good at pinching and zooming and moving around the plan, looking at different details and information within this. But there's going to be some slight differences with some of the tools. Our markups on the right on this black bar and some of these sheet controls up at the top have seen some slight modifications. So if you're oriented vertically versus horizontally, the buttons are going to look a little differently. So I'm in landscape. I end up seeing these 3 little dots. Those 3 little dots are all the extra markup tools that are being hidden just because my screen squished a little bit. If I move that to portrait, if any of y'all are in portrait, that does extend them out kind of more to an older plan grid feel. There's going to be some that are conspicuously different, changed, or even new. One thing I don't see is hyperlinks. We're going to get really deep into that in a couple of minutes. But for now, I want you all to come in, grab your pen icon, and just go ahead and draw something on the plan. Simple enough, right? I also want y'all to come to those 3 dots if you're on horizontal and pick a shape, maybe a square, maybe a circle, and draw that. We will get to that. Do not worry. We're starting easy. Because there's going to be things here that are already different, you'll see. So when I make one of these square markups and I selected it, what do we see? 4 buttons. What do y'all think delete does? Deletes it. What do y'all think edit does? Allows you to modify that markup. So if I want to hit that, I can go change something like the color. I want to go make it blue. This is something we've discussed at length about, hey, red lines are red lines, as built or as built. Sometimes you want to make some certain colors so it's easier to filter them out. Sometimes you want to change the visibility and make it a little easier to see certain things on your drawing that are important. So being able to edit and change that will come up as we talk about this. What do y'all think publish does? Publish is it. Who can see a published markup? Everyone who can see the sheet. Who can see an unpublished markup? Only you. Private notes, all your references that you just want to add in for yourself, keep them for you. Things that need to go to the broader team, we're going to go ahead and publish them. This 4th button, references. Not quite. References are my favorite tool. Everything we have in build is a workflow, a form, an issue, an RFI. References are the ties that bind them, the things that connect all our flows together. So if I take this markup and reference it, maybe this markup is referenced to an RFI. Maybe I have an inspection related to this area. Maybe I have another sheet that I need to link this over to. We can add in a connection. Think of a reference as a connection to another part of the tool. So if I say, hey, this area of my plan is connected to another sheet, and I want y'all to follow along. I want y'all to add a reference to a sheet and pick one of your other plans. Doesn't really matter which one. Click add. That says, hey, now this is connecting to something else. When I deselect on this, y'all recognize this little guy right here. What did this mean before in PlanGrid? Hyperlink. What did a hyperlink allow you to do? Click on it to go to another sheet. The difference here is that that is no longer just sheet to sheet. I can connect RFIs. I can connect submittal. I can connect forms. When we get to issues and tasks, I can connect schedules. I can connect meetings. I can connect photos to all of this. And it's all intertwined and interconnected. If you take nothing else about the value of build out of today, take that references allow you to connect all your data together. So I've got one reference. Now when I select on that, we see a little guy. Where'd my, it's in here. Point it out. This little guy down here, manage, and this little guy down here, the reference. So instead of having that hyperlink go to one thing, this can go to many. If you click manage, you can include different connections. If I have a document that I need to connect, that's a file for us. I could go say, hey, here's a specific PDF that I need to link this to. That just adds another reference, another thing it's connecting to. So right now you have hyperlinks, you have issues, you have photos, you have all these different markups, different references to one thing. Now we're compiling them, putting them in one place and allowing you to access them. So I want you to follow your reference and click onto whatever sheet you linked it to. Connor W, click. I linked it to a pretty messy one from some of the stuff we were doing earlier. So as we jump between, again, this is like how PlanGrid worked. I can either follow my hyperlinks, or if you take your finger, you can go left and right, go scroll through, go look at my plans, all the issues. Almost every document has a markup. Wow, I didn't realize we used this many. Go through all of them and access your plan set. But this is the first time I'm going to want to use my sheet controls. I need to go back to where I was. Y'all probably remember this little clock. This is what I've looked at recently, what plans I've been jumping through. If I want to go back to one I was on earlier, all the way back to this morning, I could go say, hey, go back to 111. I can see that. Hey, go back to 110. I can see that. Yep. 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 And you probably remember from playing grade, it said not current at the top, right? Same thing's going to happen here. I apologize. We do only have one version set of the current planes in there, though. So you'll see that it's going to be almost identical. So we made one markup so far. I'm proud of y'all. I want you to go publish it. All right. So, excuse me. There are a couple of new ones that are going to be a little different from what we've seen previously. So we talked about pens. We talked about shapes. Most of our shapes are going to be very similar, like squares, polygons. I want to point out these three guys up here. What do y'all think the ruler is? Measurements. If I click that, if you're on a sheet that nobody's touched yet, you need to tell it how big it is. Calibrate. Hit that. Let me go double check on this plan first. I know that this is 1/8 to 1 inch. So I can go ahead and say set my scale. Go select imperial 1/8 to 1. Go say what kind of unit I want it in. Decimal feet, decimal inches, whatever it would be. And give it a precision. One person needs to publish a markup. Or sorry, a calibration for each sheet. Yep. Currently, we do not support multiple scales on one sheet. Yep. Yep. So if we select that, I already set this one, but it will give you 2 points. You take a markup and say this is 3 feet long, and it'll calibrate the document. Yes. That does require you to get a sync, though. So right now, none of y'all have gotten a sync yet. If I were to come all the way out, I'll do that because I can. And I sync my device, I would have new changes to the Ridgemont Sandbox project, markups, issues, photos, references that I would need to resync to get the calibrations, get the photos, to get the red lines. Oh, wow. That is extreme already. So, so people can mark this up, publish their markups if they have that permission. Permission is a word that's going to come up a couple times. When y'all are working these jobs, one of the major differences from PlanGrid is that users can be permissioned per tool. Somebody who can see your sheets can't necessarily make files, or can't make RFIs, or can't see certain file folders. There are much deeper permissions for build as compared to PlanGrid, and those are all going to be standardized by our team, our admin team, Micah, Connor, Carson, Cam, those guys. So I can go through this and I can make all my red lines and markups. I can calibrate that document. And now when I take that, it gives me some options. You can use the ruler for a linear, draw a total length. You can go take a squiggly, grab a total length, or you can grab the square for an area. So depending on what you're trying to do, we can take these individual measurements on that page. We can go ahead and see, hey, approximate areas for rooms, approximate lengths. This is not a full like takeoff capability. So if you're looking at pulling total floor plan areas and things like that, I would recommend you probably use a different tool. But for simple things, simple areas, simple numbers, it's very quick and very easy to grab that. Currently, it's just squares. In web, you can do some other things. There's some other measurement tools in the web, though. Yep. Micah, does that align with what you would expect? Okay. Each of these, again, is going to be private until I publish it. We also have our little camera icon. What do y'all think camera icons for? Take a picture, attach a picture, put that on my plan, toss that in, either use my camera, use a project library photo, or use something from my current app. Oh. So if I want to say, oh, I already did my job walk, I'm just going to attach some of the stuff. I could go take my photo library, attach some beautiful pictures of Micah that he didn't know I took, and include those. I want y'all to drop a photo stamp, take a photo. I want y'all to take photos. So put it up, take a photo of your neighbor. And add that in. Yeah, so some of that's just like how big your screen is. Let me know when y'all have a photo taken to a stamp. Oh, it was great. Is it a horse or a unicorn? I thought it was a unicorn. It's pink. That's why I thought it was a unicorn. You were very focused. I was across the room and I was just like zoomed in. Correct. That is set during calibration. Yep. So if I click on that, we can change it to how the real scale is. So in this case, it was somebody changed it, but it was 1/8 to 1. And I could put that in whatever kind of calibration. And look, it automatically changes. You're gonna end up with some. Who's got a photo taken? Anybody still going? Yeah. So now I have a photo on this markup. I want y'all to click your photo. Brings it up. You can see some things. See a big blue button. I'm gonna mention a big blue button a couple times. That's usually one of the most important things you can be doing on that page. So for photos, what's my big blue button say? Tags. What do y'all think photo tags would be used for? No. Good guess. No. Tag it with what? Trick question, it's whatever you want. If I want to tag progress photos, if I want to tag electrical, if I want to tag rough-in, if I want to tag trade damage, if I want to tag really anything, you can include different information in these to sort our photos. We did some most earlier. We can see Connor and Big Phil. We can see Fat Guy in a little coat. We can see progress. We can see trade damage. We can see equipment, all this kinds of stuff. So I want y'all to go to your photo and create a tag. I like doing trade damage a lot, but we already have that, so I'll just include trade. Yep. Filter by date taken, who took it, where it was taken. Seem pretty good. All right, when you're done, click done. The other thing is the little squiggly down here. What did the little squiggly mean before? Mark a picture up. Go call out some specific people. Go give some little horns. Call out whatever you need. all that's there, and click done. What do y'all notice now that I've marked up that photo? Two of them, the original and the new one. We keep a copy of the original still, even if you've marked it up, but you could delete that if necessary. Go remove that from the project, whatever you want to do with it. So now you have a markup, and you need to publish it. Hit publish. Yeah. So photos cannot be archived. We would delete the markup that they're attached to, because once they're taken, they're in the gallery. Correct. Yes. The only thing it loses, and y'all don't have to click this at the same time as I do, is when you have one of these, there's a little detail up here. It will lose the reference to the sheet that it's tagged to. Yep. So we did some squares, we did some lines, we did some measurements, we did some photos. I got another one for us though. Oh, check mark. Don't remember a check mark from Playing Grid? It is tasks. I don't remember if it was a check mark in Playing Grid actually. Oh, was it in Playing Grid? What shape was it? All blends together. But tasks have been renamed to issues and work a little differently. I want y'all to click the check mark. And what do you notice? There's different stamps, different things. There's a lot of these. So scroll through for a second. We have some for damage, inspections, punch, our favorite. All kinds of safety citations. All these different kinds of issues can be tagged. What is an issue? An issue is an actionable, assignable, and resolvable item. Something you assign to somebody for them to complete. It doesn't have to be a problem. Punch is not a problem. If you do like, I need a reminder to send an email, that's not a problem, but it is an issue in the system. I kind of prefer the name tasks for some of this stuff, but water under the bridge. So I could go through and say, hey, I've got a punch item. Go do concrete punch, drop that. To go pick one, a punch item or a safety item, go drop it. These are made by the admin team. So Connor, why did we make each of these?
The more you make, then you're gonna sit here. So also, if you place one like PPE safety violation.
We'll get to that in a second. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
When I drop that pin, there is one major difference I want to call out between issues and other kinds of markups. Does anybody want to guess what it is for a prize? Raise your hand. Answer's on the screen. What is the most important difference between an issue and all of our other kinds of markups we've made so far? I would have preferred you raise your hand, but yes, that is correct. It automatically publishes. If you make an issue, it is public to everyone who can see it. It is not private necessarily. So if I draft punch, I drop it there, y'all can see it immediately. I don't have to do anything else to send it to everybody. The option would be instead to unpublish. What kind of prize do you want? Golf balls, water bottles, gift cards to Chick-fil-A, socks. Golf balls. All right. Yes. Yep. It'll stay published. So people would have to get a new sync to get the new version, but it would still be there for them. Issues have a title telling me what kind of issue it is. Automatically published. And I can also export it. But all of this stuff, and we'll see, I can scroll down a lot further, is going to be important. This is, what is the context? Current status. You'll see that this is that orange color, right? If I click status, stamps are now driven by status, color. Yellow, it's blue, it's gray, describes what it is. Change this to pending. The stamp itself will change color. I'll make this a little bit easier to see where it is, into that blue. The type is the predominant thing that's going to describe what your issue is. This is, again, that list. Damage, inspection, punch, safety citations, PPE. So let me flip this. If I go make this a PPE issue instead. That's not a problem, but it doesn't change the name. Just be sure you're selecting the right stamp, because the stamp itself will drive different information fields that you need to fill out. Since I changed this to a PPE issue, we see I now have a PPE type field to fill out. Punch doesn't need that. So I go through, I click PPE type. Face shield, hard hat, safety vest, work boots. What is it related to? Additional fields that you have to fill out. To do this, description tells me what it is. Assigned to, what's that? Or who? Assigned to ends up being whose ball and court it is. Who is this PP issue assigned to? We'll bother Connor again, as I have for this whole day. Connor needs to resolve this. This automatically also makes him a watcher. Does anybody have a guess what a watcher does? They watch. They can see what's happening with that issue. They get visibility into the status. If Connor changes this and I'm a watcher, I know about it. Locations. Locations are going to be set up by your PMs. These are the breakdown of every building, every room, every location, every area of the project. So this issue is related to the gym, room 101, entry atrium, exterior, however you want to classify the locations on your project. We set that up and say, hey, it's part of the gym. This, yes. To change the assignment. The recommendation would be that the different trades are watchers, and then they reassign it to whoever's current step it is. So they would go up and they would say, hey, it's no longer mine. Now it's going to go over to Carson. Yep. They're now here in build. I haven't gotten to that yet. Yeah, I haven't gotten to the references yet.
issues on.
We'll get to that in just a minute. Make a safety citation. Drop an SC. What do we want? Fire fall protection. Drop that on.
We didn't want to create one.
Yep. I'll go to that next then. So we got a couple other things to fill out still. There's still some data to be collected. Location details, let's just say, hey, it's very specific. It's at the front of the room. It's in this area. It's in this entryway, whatever it would be. Resolution expectation, when is it due by? When did it start? It started today. Root cause is not required, but it's helpful. Why is this a problem? Why are we having a tripping hazard? Is it because of housekeeping? And then down at the bottom, we see my best friend come back. We have all of our references. The references here work with a different group than the references for the markup. We see I can reference a photo. I can reference files, forms, assets, RFIs. Notably, we can't reference sheets because it's on a sheet already. Oops. I didn't mean to tap it that hard. So if I have a photo of this issue, I can go ahead and add that, from my project photos. Go grab my can of Coke, add that in. Add in any kind of files, forms, assets, etc. for that issue. It's not really an issue. It's a task. It's a thing to be done. It's a problem. It's something to resolve. So now that issue, again, is driven by the color. So SC is one of our safety citations. Michael was mentioning that this also can be done not on a sheet. So if I have one that generally needs to be filled out related to site condition, or I've got something that isn't associated to any specific location, if y'all hit the X in the top left, down at the bottom, I mentioned we got all these different things. We got one for issues. Go ahead and click issues. This is the log of every issue on the job. Open, pending, closed, in progress, etc. Left-hand side gives us the full list, and I could go search for them. But we have our big blue button. What does the big blue button tell us? Create an issue. We can create one directly here, not associated to a location on a sheet. So if I have something in here that I know is going to be a thing, we have a city inspection, it doesn't have to be at a specific place on the plan. I can just make this in general. It's going to be missing a location assignment, which we'll see in a second, or sorry, placement assignment, not location. But I have all the same data collection, due date, start date. Placement is the thing that's different though. It's not associated to Plan A111. It's just general. These are day items. So like our due date, for example, is like a full day. It doesn't go down to the minute, and we don't have a reminder system. Use your phone's timer, probably. So I've got that city inspection now open. I can assign it to people. And when I assign it to Kenneth, we see it's given a number. Until it's assigned to somebody, it's not put in our sequence necessarily if you create it from the log. If I can see up there, where is it? 292. We've already made 290 issues on this project. That's a lot. So I need to parse through this, not scroll through all the different things that need to be done, right? How do y'all think we'll get to a smaller list of issues? Filters. Great job. I can hit my filters. I can see only open. I can see maybe ones that are assigned to me. What's my work? I've got 2 issues to fix. Safety citation and a city inspection. I can go in, see the context, see all the relevant information and tagged information, see the photos in that issues log. Maybe I want to see what's assigned to Connor. I could go change that to him. Go scroll through, find him, and see that he has 8 different issues to be resolving. A lot of clash. Close one of them. Yep, go ahead. So in that case, we talk about using types and categories. If I click types, I can select all punch items. It's in category, not type, sorry. So categories are the top level, punch. Types are architectural punch, electrical punch, etc. So you need to use the top level if you want category. Or top level of safety citation. We just called it safety. Include those. Break that down and see that list. What do you see next to our filter? 3 buttons. What do y'all think the 3 dots mean? No. No. More options. Who said that? You want golf balls? Or socks? Or what do you want? There are more cups? More options says, hey, what do I want to do? What do y'all see here that you think might be useful? Not quite, but I was gonna say issue reports. You know, get an output, something out of the system, a list of things. I go to my sub, he says, I don't know what I'm doing. I can filter this to everything assigned to him, create a report for him. It can also be automated by the PMs, something we talked about with them this morning. So get these lists, get them resolved through build and status. So I can go say, hey, you know, this issue from earlier is all done. Move it out of your list. Making sense? It'll move all the way to the bottom. So if I scroll all the way down here, we see closed issues. It defaults to open, then in progress or in review. I can't remember which one's first. Pending, and then in review, and then closed. Exactly. We can import those directly from like an Excel sheet if you know the date every single one's going to be coming in. That's done through web, not through here, but you can import a whole list of 500 different things you're going to need to do. Feeling pretty good so far? Yep. So depending on your permission, if you have a certain level that we've decided on in the templating of these projects, some users can do that. I don't remember if we gave supers the ability to do that. Yes. Yes. Correct. So, yeah. They can see submittals that go back to them. If they were responsible for the documentation, they can see those. Feeling good? All right. We're still in Sheets for a little bit longer, though, so let's go back to Sheets. I'm going to go back into one of my planes. What was I in 5th floor? All right. Our beautiful unicorn. All right. These ones should be pretty quick for just a quick minute. Up here, y'all probably recognize a couple of these, right? What do y'all remember this one? The Squareo? Export. We call that the Squareo in our company. Hit that. If you want to take a snapshot of what you have on screen, shoot it out to an architect, shoot it out to a sub who's not in your instance, you can directly do that from here. Go email that out. Give them that snapshot in that context without inviting them in. Y'all do have unlimited licenses, so you can invite anybody you want, but not everybody's going to be willing, as mentioned. Painting sub, something like that, probably not in here. Yep. It sends an email. It is I don't have my email set up on this iPad. Y'all can test it on yours. It sends a image of that snapshotted area in that email. I don't remember if it adds the link also, though. Yeah. Cannot print. That is one of the big differences and the negatives. There are going to be a handful of negatives. I apologize. Anything you think is a deal breaker, a problem, an improvement we can make, we can talk about that. We have what we call feature requests, which is, hey, we think it would be great to be able to do this. Charles manages those, but he's not here right now. Micah is compiling them for y'all's company. Yes. Laptop's got a lot of capabilities. Yeah. There's workarounds for a lot of this, but it's like some people have very specific ideas of how it worked previously that they want to stay with. So, any other questions? We're going to get to that one. Do not worry. All right. So if you're in the issues log, if I back up out of my sheets and go over here, if you use that blue create issues button, that one's not associated to a plan.
Maybe a safety citation with an.
Yep.
Documented there.
Yep. Export. Send it to somewhere. So we're talking about printing files, weren't we? Sure. Yeah, this should work. Sorry, we were talking about printing earlier in a different context. Because when we talk about files, that's where I was getting confused. Sorry. Yes, printing directly from here is doable through that export. When we start talking about files, that's where the differences are. All right. It's the little arrow. When you create a snapshot, there's an open in. And that'll just be the PNG that you can send out. Little file cabinet. likes to see revision history, what was the version we're on, as well as add it as a favorite. So if I want to say, hey, this one's important to me, I need it at the top of my list. We can go ahead and star that, and it'll start appearing at the top of our sheets list. So if I go back up, now we see I have 2 favorites. These will sort based on number sequence within your favorites. Note, if you have something favorited and you start scrolling, it'll be actually at the front. So if I scroll left from here, it'll be 125 and 113, and then we're done. If I keep going, it'll be A0. So again, it resequences it physically for you. It'll go 124 to 126. That is, in fact, 2 from now. So give me 1 more second and then we will. Filters. If I want to clean this up and get rid of our beautiful drawing, I can go say hide everything. Now I'm left with my clean plan. All the stuff, all the random junk is gone. Or I could say only show specific kinds of things. Only show my issues. Oops. If I just want to see those. Or only show specific kinds of markups. Only my private notes. Nothing anybody else has pushed to me. Limit yourself and control what you're looking at very easily. Then we get to the 2 overlays. Overlay and compare allows us to look at 2 plans and do what? Compare them. Previous to current, one floor to another. So if I go look at my 124 plan, I can go see an overlay of these 2 different plans. This is floor 4 to 5. I can see some things are similar. We can see in black anything that's consistent between them. But if I flip between 5 and 4, we see the 2 different occurrences. Same case for 2 versions. You'd see changes between them, walls that have been removed, furniture that's been changed, things that have been demoed, etc. Yep, so if these aren't perfect, we have a line. Call out a specific area, and then fine tune it. Inch by inch, molecule by molecule to make sure it's perfect or aligned properly. Yep, and this will move it pixel by pixel. If I want to reset it, after I've done that, we have the option to I keep scrolling by accident. We have the option to reset the alignment of these 2 plans back to what the original was. I mentioned the little clock earlier. This is our recently viewed, so the past cup. Go ahead, Micah. Snapshot of our differences. Yeah, there's some limitations on the sheets for that. Mobile, it does allow you to print out the comparison overlay. The clock shows us what we looked at previously. And then we hit our fan. Does anybody other than Connor know what the fan means? And Micah and Cam and Carson. What's that? That's what we're going to call an asset. Assets are something we talked at length about earlier today. They're going to be tracked items. They're going to be something y'all are going to be working on later. We're not talking about them today necessarily. Micah, do you have anything you want to say on that while we're looking at the button?
Yeah. So the It's something that.
Yep. Feeling good? Feeling dangerous? All right, let's take a 10-minute break. Go over and change the bathroom, check emails. We'll come back and we'll look at forms, photos, some of that stuff. I'm literally the worst with this thing. Download your files, pick one of the folders, and you'll see you get the green check mark saying, hey, you've got up-to-date plans in here. I can go into my completed RFIs and see, hey, here's all my RFI PDFs that have been completed. And there's a lot of project files and project folders in here. Do y'all think there's a way to see all my files at once? List all files. This allows me to see every folder and every file available to me. This is going to be a lot. It's usually easier if we navigate to the folders we want, but I want to show this off because there's a couple folders in here that are very pertinent. How many of y'all like having meetings? Nobody likes to, but they're required. Everything from PDFs, Word files, docx, images, these can all be loaded and used. So some of these are going to be available for y'all all the time. What's a good one we could look at? I've got way too many downloaded already. Let's go to safety forms. So we've got all these different forms that are available. PDFs are the primary one. So grab any PDF for yourself. What do y'all notice when you open a PDF? Sharp. We got our markup tools. This is not where you're going to mark up plans. Y'all are going to mark up plans in Sheets because it does all the extra stuff, your hyperlinks, your search on page, etc. When I've got these plans and these files that I'm accessing, we're going to use these mainly for viewing and some light markup maybe. So if I'm looking at confined space entry, I can go have that. I can scroll through and see report forms. I can go see all sorts of different stuff, SOPs, all these different documents. Yep. So great question. Hold on. Let me go to my project files, drawing specs, CAD files. What do you see here? Open it up. Access those out in the field. This is just a 2D CAD file. If you have a 3D file though, like this Revit file, go ahead and open that up. View it on your mobile device, on your phone, on your iPad. Go see that in 3D. How many of y'all have used Revit before? How many of y'all have used Navisworks before? How many of y'all have gotten that on your phone? None. This is our model viewing, our plan viewing, our document viewing, Excel, Word, anything you want to host for your project is a file for us and is always accessible, field or office. Is this what you're looking for? So that you can download the source file. You can grab the original DWG or Revit file out of the system. Yep. That would require the corresponding design tool for it, unless it's Navisworks. So, what kind of file types are important to y'all? Word, Excel, PDF. PDF was a good one. I'm sad I left the one I was just in because I actually liked what I was looking at. Go see if I can find it again. Process manual will work. This is long. Who earlier said about search on PDF? It was you. So, what do you think I can do? My little magnifying glass. We'll find a word. I looked for door earlier. What's a good word to find? Pre-con? Pre-construction and estimating. All the different sections. Go jump to them. Jump to the occurrences of that word everywhere it exists. Search on PDF very easily. Again, we can go find that for any of our files here. No problem at all. Those of you who use PlanGrid, there are a couple things that are missing here, I hate to say. Like bookmarking pages was something I really loved in PlanGrid that is no longer here. But we have search, we have files, we have download, we have all this other stuff to do still. Seem good? All right, come back up. Excel files, safety stand down sign sheet. I can load those, no problem. There's a difference here between web and browser. In web, you can directly edit Excel and Word files native in the platform. You don't have to download it out and re-upload it. It's through build. Here, they're view only though. So I can go see Excel files, Word files, whatever it would be, natively without issue. So scroll through whatever it is. No problems loading, viewing, and downloading. So any questions so far? Woo-hoo-hoo. Through web. So what? Sorry. I'm sorry, I'm confused. Oh, so like I'm are we yeah. So yeah, when we're in web, you can print directly from a file. Mobile does not have that capacity. That's why I was getting confused. I was like, they're saying you can. I'm like, not here, no. Yeah. So again, one minor difference, web and browser, or web and app. All right. Yeah. So, okay. So that kind of markup, like filling out the fillable PDF, is what we'll classify as a form. We're going to get to that in just 1 minute. Yep. So those files that are loaded are just general use. When y'all are talking about filling out checklists, daily reports, that ends up being a form. Very next thing in the bottom. Are we okay back there? There's like 4 or 5 side conversations going. Is anybody having trouble? Are we all good? Thank you. So now we have files loaded in. We mentioned earlier there are certain kinds of meetings, agendas, or sorry, not agendas, like fill outs, checklists, things like that. Those are what we classify as forms down on the bottom. Did y'all ever use daily reports in PlanGrid? No. There's a couple things here that you'll need to know that you didn't use before. So when I go to my forms, there's 2 flavors. There's ones that y'all upload, just fillable, check, 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 putting your information for example, your rental equipment form. And there are ones that are billed, like our RCC daily. RCC daily still a good example for this? Okay, perfect. So do y'all see this create a new form? RCC daily report. Click it. You should be on the same screen as me. This is me going in and saying, hey, today, February 9th, I'm doing my daily. I can put in my current status. It's in progress. I can put in a location if it's part of a specific area of the site. Description for, I could go put in daily. And when it's due. When we go down These different sections are part of the form. Weather. What do y'all think drives weather? Where your project is. So based on what the weather was that day, you can say, hey, we had a weather delay. We couldn't pour today because it was raining. The daily report will reflect that. As I scroll down, we get to different sections, starting with a number. Yes. That's unexpected. Is anybody else having that too? Okay. That might be a restart the iPad moment. Interesting. I don't know. Micah, can you take a look at that for us? So, Micah, do we have another one for him to use for now? Okay. What's that, Cam? Yep. So that's Cam brings up a great point. So when you fill out this form, the weather reflects your current day's weather. Do not fill out dailies retroactively and expect the weather to be corresponding. It is from when you fill it out. Next component of Apple weather. Yeah. All right. So in that daily, there's different sections to fill out. Work log. What do you think you put in work log? Who was there? What they did? Like add work. You got a crew. What crew was it? Drywall, HVAC, paint, etc. We have some sample ones for you here. This is not all inclusive, nor is it limited to just the ones we have here. You can enter crews at the bottom. So you could also include something like general labor as a crew and include that. Add your number of workers. How many different guys were on site? How many guys do we have in here? We have like 15 plus 4, 19-ish. 19 guys. Total hours. How many hours were they there? And what they did. We did on-site training. Put that in alongside their company. So if I have my drywall guys, my Lithco team, my XYZ contractors in there, go put them in and tag it to the company. And we're seeing things change in the background, but I have to scroll back up to kind of see it and click done. If I scroll back up, we see total work log, how many workers, how many hours, what company they worked for, what they were doing, what crew they were a part of. Do that for all your groups. Yep. Yep. So we'll get to the very bottom and you'll see copy report. Clear as mud. Good to hear. Yeah. Yeah, you can reopen forms if you have the correct permission. Yep. All right. You back up here. So next material. We have some detail here. It says, were there any sub or RCC deliveries today? Include pictures of the material and tickets signed off by Ridgemont. This is a little bit more general. This is saying, hey, what kind of material was it? Go add that in. How much did you use? Quantity and unit, and any commentary. Same thing with equipment. Any equipment used, hours used, quantity, what work it was used for. These are all just general fields that you can fill out for that tracking. Once you get down to section 4, though, these are questions. This is saying, hey, are these things in place and maintained? Have there been deficiencies? Are inspections up to date? Is the plan updated? What do you see in red there? Required. You have to fill this out to be able to submit it. I have to say yes or no. If I say yes, we're good. If I say no, it does something. No, it was not in place and maintained. It says you have to add an issue. There has to be something on this discussion topic, this item, this question that says there's a problem. It's still an answer. It just doesn't require you to put an issue. So if I say no, I add an issue. We put in whatever it was, whatever the individual issue in question is, or big blue button, create a new one. Save it to that, and now we're good to keep going. And these questionnaires, these forms are made by the admin team for y'all for these projects. So if you have a new form that you want to fill out using this format, they can make it, get it in your projects moving forward. Right? So we see our references. When I click my references for that question, it allows us to add a photo to that question. I go ahead and say, hey, use this photo from my project. Go ahead and add in whatever it is and save that. You can require a photo, you can require an issue, you can require neither, and still prompt you to do it though. Yep. Down here. Hello world. So now we scroll through, we fill out all our different questions. I'm not going to do them all here. Down in section 6, there's a section for photos and documentation. Micah, you want to explain why y'all have this?
Yeah. Here. I would say is that what I would like to see everybody would have a specific photo. With it.
Yep. So all the way at the bottom. In addition, sorry, all the bulk photos become a reference, but it's not just photos. It's also files from the day, issues from the day, other forms from the day.
Photos. But in one specific photo. Have 10 items. Can't do it.
So this is a good time. Charles, do you want to stand up and say hi to everybody? He's the one who will facilitate all feature requests. Nice, Connor. Hey. All right. And then at the bottom, there's a required field that's very important for you to fill out. Signature. Go sign off on it. Make sure you do that, please, because you can't put it in otherwise. Yep. There's a submit button up here in the top right. So you put in your references, you put in your notes from the day, you're done, you click submit. I'm missing a lot of different fields. Let me do that real quick. Yep. Well, you can move it to collaborative parallel. So I'll clarify. There were a couple things that came up. There's a couple different ways that you can work with a form. The kind that we have here, when I said it was a build form, you remember when I said that a moment ago? Build forms can be collaborative. PDFs cannot. PDFs are sequence. So if you need two people to fill out a PDF, one person has to be done and send it to the next. Does that make sense? Sorry, there was another question about forms that came from the back. What was it? One of y'all had a question. You already forgot? So it's an option on certain kinds of forms. So I can flip the RCC right now. I'm looking at it on my computer screen to be collaborative. There can also be certain section assignments if you do make it collaborative, such that only the super can fill out the super signature field before you submit it. Yep. The build ones. Yes. Yep. Correct. Yep. There's a little toggle in the permissions that also allow viewers to see forms before they're submitted. So you can see his in progress one and contribute to it.
Yeah, you can show them how to copy.
Yep. So I finished my form. I need to go find it again. There it is. It's this daily closed here. Tomorrow, if I need to redo this, go down to the bottom. We have copy form. We would have to reopen it, which requires a certain level of permission, which you have on this job. So I could reopen it. And now it's back up here and I could go modify that. You say it updates the team. I don't think so. He needs to know when it comes in so he can go make sure it's good. Correct. Yep. Yeah, copy it to the new day. Yeah, as far as I'm aware. Yeah. As long as you're in a net, as long as you're either in a network or you've synced this. If you're out, there's no internet at all, you don't have cellular, you can't come back to your computer until it's synced.
You sync it.
Yep, should be fine. Beginning and end. Come back to the trailer, you're done for the day. Good to go. All right. So we mentioned a couple times there's different kinds of forms. So I want y'all to select this equipment rental form now. You're gonna see it's a little different. There's a little box up there. Follow along and click into that box. What does this look and feel like? Acrobat, any kind of form fill out tool that's PDF based. What? DocuSign. Go put in what job site we're on. Go put in what equipment is needed. Go put in how big it is. Delivery day. We're gonna say it's gonna be delivered on Christmas. It's gonna do this, whatever. Go put all that in, save that to this document. The main difference is this is a created PDF ahead of time. These are fillable fields set up ahead of time. This is a document that Micah uploaded for you to fill out. It's not created within Build. That's a limitation that these cannot be filled out in parallel. You can't be doing this one at the same time. Not directly here, but when I save it, we have our references. So references to this form, you can directly add photos. It's not going to be tagged to like an individual cell. So go putting some information in that one, maybe make a reference or two. Add that in. Click submit. So now that one's done. And in the same way, if I want to go look at that one, I'd have the filled out locked PDF. Uneditable now. Thumbs up if you're feeling good. I know it's getting late. It's 3 o'clock on a Friday. We still got some more stuff to do, but hang in with me, okay? I wish I was doing that. All right. So we talked about any questions on forms before we keep moving. All right. We already did the issues bit earlier. Again, this is the log where you can see all your open issues, all the ones in progress, who they're in ball and court, what they're doing. Want to come up with a quiz question for them about forms or issues? Or issues. All right. Did somebody get a prize for that? I don't even know. It's more a discussion. All right. I got a question. If I make an issue from my big blue issue button, can I later assign that to a location on my sheet? Raise your hands, you mongrels. Yeah. Yes. Do you want a prize? What do you want? You got a couple more. I feel like this one should be a better prize than that, but yeah, Charles. It's all linked together. You keep everything in one place. What do you want? I don't know if we have another one of those. We have other Yetis though.
Yeah, so another coffee mug. You drink coffee? Does it have a lunchbox? Here.
We got socks, golf balls, lunchbox, thermoses,
Chick-fil-A gift
chargers, Chick-fil-A gift cards. For what? For what? It's another good one. You got one?
When working in sheet, can you mark up which one? I think love them. Mark up.
Raise your hands, but yeah, we'll get it to them. You got raise your hands. All right. So we got a couple more little things to talk about, and we're going to take a break and then do an exercise. Focus in. One more tiny thing to talk about, aka a massive thing, photos. Who has taken a photo in their life? Everyone. So when you take a photo on a job, it gets logged here. Every photo you add to the job is here. Be aware of that. We can take any of these photos and do a couple things with them. So earlier I mentioned my big blue button tags. Photo tags can be added, and there are some automated ones in the web that are pretty cool. I won't show them right now, but auto tagging is a very nice feature. If I have this can, I want to go say, hey, this is a Texas can for Dr. Pepper. Add that as a tag. Or like we saw before, I can go mark up and call out an area. Simple enough, right? That is a great question. Photos cannot be deleted. Correct. We can tag it and filter it out, but it is not going to be deleted. The picture is still going to be there. Why? Sorry. No. Yes. So when you take a photo, it selects like, hey, I want to add these ones. Where the background? Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah. Correct. I thought I was mentioning from mobile, but yeah. Yeah. It'll still be in a couple places. What's that? If you want to use a tag, you would need to put it in. But the next thing I was going to get to, hold on, focus up. I think this will probably answer your question. When you have a photo here, there are details. This is where we see who took it and when, where it was taken, geolocation on your iPad, and importantly, anything it's referenced to. So if it's referenced to a form, if it's referenced to an issue, if it's connected to a plan, it tells you here where that is. If I were to go back, look at one of these pictures of Micah, you see in the bottom right, hey, this photo is on a plan somewhere. If I go to my details and references, oops, I see that one there. Go check one of the others. I'm not sure why that's not there. You can see, hey, it's part of this form. So that references this references that references this. It's just round tripping the same data, depending on which you started. Yeah, if it was okay, so the geolocation is very specific. It is where the photo was taken. So we see here. And that depends on some of your device considerations for how accurate it is. but it'll be where it was taken, not where it was uploaded. It depends on if the way they sent it to you includes the metadata. That's called metadata. Yep. If they like flatten the file somehow on the back end, you would lose that. So, as a location where we took the photo, what do y'all think we can do with all the locations on the project where these photos were taken? See them on a map. Do I go back to my photos log? Up at the top, you see the little fanfold pamphlet. Click that. And everywhere these photos are taken is visible. Somebody was down in Austin for one of these. But I could go see, hey, where am I currently? Zoom, 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 zoom. And this is where you see certain levels of precision matter for where it was, depending on your device. But everywhere a photo is taken, you see general areas, general sites, general buildings. And click on those to see that photo. So where was that photo? What was the one photo we took in Austin for some reason? We go back, click on that. Go see details. Troy took this February 2nd, 9:38 a.m. Is this linked to anything? No. But we'd be able to see if it was. Seem useful?
Yeah, 1,500.
So yeah, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this for everybody so they hear. When you have your photo list, our filters have some very useful ones. If you just want to see photos related to forms, I can go see referenced by forms. And these are all linked to a form somehow, some way, somewhere. Click into those and see, hey, this is referenced to a daily report from today. Jump to that, spin it around, see all that information. Those filters are very, very powerful for photos because you can see everything from what's it referenced to, what's its tag, who remembers what we're going to use tags for, building numbers, phases, locations, all sorts of trade damage, safety infractions, all this stuff, right? So we can filter on all that and get a list of what matters to us and generate reports through web generally. All right, 10-minute break, then we're gonna do an exercise. The exercise is gonna ask you to do something I have Oh, you muted me during break. Yeah. Okay. So now we've talked about pretty much all the core things you're going to be doing day to day. There are a handful of other things that I'm not going to go over, but you're going to have to learn. We just lose a couple guys. Oh, no, they're just talking about things. So if you hit more, there's going to be a couple other things here you may be interested in. One you're going to have to look at is RFIs in a minute. I'm not going to tell you how to do it. You're going to have to learn how to do it yourself. Very simple. I can tell you that ahead of time. So what I'm going to ask y'all is we're going to do a little exercise. You're going to have 30 minutes. You're going to have to do certain things for us. So you're going to have to make markups. You're going to have to make issues, take photos, attach RFIs, and a couple other things. Plug that back in. So it like automatically extends my monitor instead of just mirroring it. So weird. All right. I want you all to take your iPads, leave this room. I want you to have 10 markups, 5 issues, 3 photos, 1 RFI reference, and 1 form and referenced. You'll have 30 minutes to do this. I want photos from not in this room. Call a highlight, make a little text box and call somebody out, something like that. Yeah, I just did. Oh, why does he keep doing that? Yeah, it keeps changing to extend instead of duplicate. So the RFI, if it asks you, you can put it in Connor's court. Sorry. So go around the building, find some trade damage, find some things that aren't quite right with Micah's design. I guess. Technically correct. Give him a minute longer. We're missing 1, 2, 3, 5. 5-ish. Connor's probably not coming back. He's gone forever. Who was over here? I can't remember. Al. Okay. Yeah, like 3 or 4 guys. Give them the full time. Well, somebody will go herd them in here eventually. Hopefully. No, because they have to judge. Oh, you're being judged by your peers. You don't have to. You're going to come up and show them. Who wants to volunteer to go first, by the way? Anybody? You're going to come up and show your work to everybody. What you did, issues you made, your form. You get prizes. You want to come up? We're not going to go quite yet, but you can come up whenever. Any sheet. Go to your recents. Go find ones you have private markups on. Go search for the issues that you've opened in the past 12 hours. There's a lot of ways to get there. Connor, did you see guys out there still? Yeah. There's one more. He just went to the restroom, I think. Okay, so we should be good to go in just a minute. Ten out of 10. You had to leave? Where'd he go? To work?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Got one in the restroom, but we should be good to go otherwise. All right. So I'm going to ask y'all to come up. You'll get prizes for this. Show us what you did, what kinds of markups you made, what kinds of issues you made, the photos you took, the RFIs, the form. So come on up. You have a new or an old iPad? You have a new or an old iPad? All right, we got both. Don't worry. So just walk us through what you did. Show us your work. You get to pick something.
Cool. So you want me to show all the items? You want me to just show a couple?
Show all the items, please. You don't have to show every markup if we can just see them on screen. But issues I want to see, photos I want to see, RFIs, forms I want to see. We're waiting. Hold on. Still. There we go.
Go for it.
The RFI I made was a big question.
Yep.
Submitted it to.
Very nice. Did you link it to a drawing? Okay. We'll show you how to do that in a second too then when we're done. Oh, that looks like an issue.
Yeah. Huge issue, safety concern.
Did you make an issue with that?
No, I did not.
All right, perfect. Go to all, go to the template, and you'll find the ones you've submitted. And the ones you can see. You have a lot of permissions on this that you won't have on most of your jobs.
Daily report today, 19 people here total hours. materials, sandwiches.
Yep. Good. What are our names?
Uno reverse.
Signed it, submitted it.
Show us your markups. Mhm.
You go check out this call.
Probably not. But if it's a garage.
Right here, we're not separate issues, but I put
Is that issue related to the crooked CMU or something else?
no, I made separate issues. Fire extinguisher. Hall of Fame is separate issue. I actually tagged Mike in. Yeah, thank you. We're gonna have some issues with that comment about the deadline. You're actually passing the business. Staircase steps do not meet ADA. This is not a separate issue, but
Problem.
issues now. This is one. Separate. So. Else. Kitchen. And type in lazy. As you already discussed. From the building, we have damage.
Easy enough.
Side door.
Was that also the out of date one from yesterday?
Oh, the outdeck one's upstairs. Anybody catch that one?
No one in here probably noticed that either.
Totally was a plant by us for y'all to find.
Troy's got some actual.
On my items.
Perfect. Thank you. Give him a round of applause. Couple of questions. What you think was really easy to do?
Everything.
Everything was super easy. Anything you had trouble with? Anything you found you liked better?
I think it's pretty cool that the RFI is now on now,
Mhm.
as well as the daily reports. It was all super simple.
Perfect. Thank you.
But my favorite part is the daily reports, so I don't have to go back and forth.
No rake in
Yeah.
anymore.
Right.
Wait, you forgot your swag.
Oh man, I forgot about. I came up here not even thinking I was getting a prize.
There's wireless chargers, there's $15 gift.
Yeah,
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A gift cards, water bottles.
You say this is a water card?
Yeah, they're Ridgemont branded. You our next guy?
So if you just- I'll do it.
Do you have a lightning port or a USB-C? Give it a second. All right.
Alright, so I'm in my issue. First issue, retaining wall to the retaining wall side, open, retaining. Picture.
Wow.
That's for drainage.
Seems like a problem. Perfect.
City inspection, I just said it.
Outlet cover to the microwave. Simple enough. Descriptive. Take a picture of the lack of beer. Like when Amazon asks you, like, why I didn't receive this delivery, take a photo. Yep. Did you submit it? Yeah. So go to all forms, daily reports. RCC dailies. Yep. So click back. Or was this the one you filled out? No, it looks empty. Click back. And then in the top right, you see a little filter, little martini glass, created by you. There you go. Closed one right there, 149. I was a Concord guy moving dirt. Perfect job.
Pictures on the daily.
Pictures on this daily.
Cuts to the heart. All right, show us your photos. It's important.
Haircut.
Sheets and markups.
You can scroll to the top and figure out or you go to homepage and you figure out when you work on research.
That's one way.
Yeah, you get that way, or you.
So here's a question.
You can click off a couple times and you can click back onto it. It's just a little weird little thing. Yeah. Grab your multi-select finger. Yeah, drag it over. Yeah. Some weird little side effect stuff. Okay. Is that what the photo's for? Okay. I just see the photo up there. I was curious. Your nice little your nice little football picture.
Yeah, my football. Yeah, that was mine.
No, that was this morning. All right, you got your RFI?
I don't appreciate it.
What are you looking for? Oh yeah, there you go.
So my article, I think I told it to the trader. My issue is Damon's hair. He needs to find a super cut and someone get a direction.
A little rough, yeah, rough around the edges. Could you highlight what part of the hair is the problem? The whole thing. Very nice. All right, thank you so much. What did you find really intuitive? Was it easy?
The easiest part is it's a lot.
Yeah, it's plain grid.
We've been using it.
Mhm.
Not gonna lie, I like Rakin's daily reports better. But
You'll get used to it.
right, that's the whole thing.
Yeah. A little bit different sometimes, but that's just a matter of taste.
And that's what we've been using for years.
Mhm.
So once you get in it, you're using it, it'll.
It's easy enough. All right, perfect. What do you want?
Thank you.
Do you have a lightning port or?
Yeah.
No, it's down there. Right here.
Oh, okay.
404. It's 2 minutes slow. It just takes a second. Leave it. I don't know why. There we go. That's what you got. No work done today at all. I see some issues. I see a note there.
I see, get visitors.
You had an issue up top. You want to go back up to that? There you go. SWIP updated. Karsten, how could you? Mhm. Drop, drop, drop. Where's your RFI? You're assigned RFI. Wait, hold on. Can you go back up to the home for a second? I want to show y'all something. So on the far left side, you see work status. This is important. This is the things that are in your court. He has an RFI in his court. He has 3 issues in his court, separate from everything going on in the project. So if you click that one RFI for me, it'll take you, hey, directly to that item that's your ball in court. It's your court, though. It's your job to review it. I think it's the X. Yeah. Oh no.
More?
Hit more. And then RFI and then the filter, you could find ones created by you. Oh, is there not a created by in that filter list? I thought there was. It'll be near the top. Do you remember what it was called or anything like that? Yeah, you can search it. You're good. Still hungry again?
Always hungry.
Did you not find it, or which one was yours? That does not have activity for RFIs, sadly. Go back into the RFIs log though, Ben. Let's look. Sure. You can close it out, or
Still more.
yeah,
Still more, but-
it's in the middle. Yeah, there we go. Created by. Should be. Wait, created by Austin. Okay, yeah. That's interesting. You must not have fully like created it. Yeah. You must not have fully created it. Okay. Somebody else went and voided it out, maybe. All right. Well, thank you. You gonna take some swag? Okay, cool. What did you find really intuitive, easy? What worked well?
I like the way you can link everything to reference it. It cleans it up a lot, makes it super easy to know what's being referenced to. Sometimes the hyperlinks can get super crowded and stuff, so I just like how clean it looks.
Good. Good to hear. Yeah. Yep.
So on mine, I have one. Then you have created items that are named to your case.
Mhm.
Doesn't tell you who created the item.
No, not directly. It does in web. Mobile doesn't have the same. It'll show you an activity history in the web, but the mobile does not have that. Yep. Then maybe it's best practice to like add yourself as a watcher moving forward for that. Yeah, could be. Not on mobile. The web will tell you, but all right, let's focus back up to the front. Go ahead. Printer. Mhm. Areas of the project, progress photos, problems. Or frames, paint's not the right color. Or it does not belong here. Good. So you can click that plumbing sub issue. Okay. Nice. So that's drafting a new one when you click it like that. You drafted a new one when you click it like that. So click back. That create a new form, that middle bit will draft new ones. So you can see ones you have in progress down at the bottom. But if you want to see a completed one, you need to go to all forms up in the top right. Not that far, but like, let me point you. All forms, and then you can find the daily reports, RCC, and then you'd find ones created by you if you want to filter it. Hit the little martini glass, created by yourself. There you go. Now you got your closed 192. Down to the close. Nope. Back again. Yep. The bottom closed one. There we go. Go ahead. Damn, Lithgo's doing everything. Okay. Okay. Part of the daily. You can make an RFI. Go to more in the bottom right. RFIs. You could search for it. You could find one. Exit light location. Oh, it's sick. Perfect. Perfect. Thank you so much. Come on, y'all. You want to take some swag? One water bottle, a lunchbox, gift card. I think that's a coffee mug. Sorry.
I'll take a couple.
All right. Anybody else want to go? Woo! Do you have lightning or USB-C? The flat one?
Yeah, it's that one.
Okay, that's lightning.
That was the lightning.
That's USB-C. The other one's USB-C, the rounded one. On our Weems. Weems. A great name. It just takes a second. Trust. A couple of them have. See? Speak it into existence. Almost here, almost.
Imagine Bill, cows, and chickens.
I mean, it's your court.
It's in your-
You're the one who can answer it. Markups, yeah. HH. Related to. Oh no, I remember that one from earlier. This is not a daily, this was a square footage measurement. Who did that earlier?
Yeah.
Can't remember. All right, keep going. Sorry. Good. What kind of issues did you open? Oh, don't worry, you'll get one. You can close that one out already. You didn't supply this PPE for this training.
Maybe I'll wear one higher than the other. My coat can't.
Did the trades damage that?
Yeah. My pictures.
These are not your photos. Oh, I'm trying my best.
There it is.
The action shot. Looking good. Yep, perfect. Thank you so much. Do you want to fill out do you want to prize? We got lunchbox, golf balls, Chick-fil-A gift card. Yeah.
Take some golf.
We're out of socks. We're out of socks and we're out of water bottles. All right. How are y'all feeling? Friday. So I asked y'all to do something new. I asked y'all to do something new when you created an RFI. Is that pretty easy? Go send that to your PM.
Something I do want to clarify, because Connor did clarify for me. I don't think whenever us in the field create a title for the, we don't need a PM behind the- Yeah. Connor sent me a picture on. 9 times out of 10, they're
Okay.
So they'll just say, hey, we give them.
Hunter sends me a picture on my phone. Now, how do I get my phone to auto? Take that photo. There's a photo in. I can take it from there and move it to the architect. You know, other information. You might give me a call and say, hey, I just sent you something on AutoCAD. Also, just job security.
Are we getting part of that paycheck?
Do you have anything you want to address them?
Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna, see what y'all are most excited about, you know, when you say, what is liked or that you, yeah, this is good.
I think it's good.
And I like how, like, I said it 3 or 4 times, how cleans up the document. Hendrick can get really messy really fast when you have 5 RFIs on one sheet or pictures or dimensions, whatever. This kind of keeps. What are you guys most nervous about, or what is it that you're, that was a step backwards?
Now I got it.
Daily report.
Daily report?
Seems kind of.
Yeah, so I will say on specifically daily reports, again, I need your feedback, like in terms of this isn't working, or could we add this? You know, so there are some limitations within it, but we can modify. So I do need your feedback. I also want your feedback on other forms that you would want in there. So Austin was mentioning the JHA. If you want the JHA in there, and then you could make the JHA accessible to your subs and your subs. So, yeah. On some of the larger dogs, subs fill it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like there. Yeah, so you can get your toolbox topics under your files. So go to internal files, standard files, safety, and then, or actually, probably under safety, there's toolbox topics. That whole list of like 300 of them are there. So you can grab those, you know, on your computer, you can grab those and print them off. Then you can take a picture of it, tag it, you know, there's a number of ways to do that.
What feels a little daunting is the issues portion of it a little bit. There's so many layers to it, you know,
Yeah.
like cleanliness and SWIFT and whatever, you know, you can report it back to the subs. I think that it's great in theory, but I think it's gonna be really hard to implement, get these subs to check that and understand that, hey, this is a
Yeah.
priority. And I think it's just gonna add a whole nother laundry list of things that we need to verify that these subs
So-
are gonna do.
So here's another thing is that we talked this morning with the PM teams that we can schedule reports. So we can say, I want every day or every, let's say Monday, a list of all your open issues to go to every single sub. You no longer have to do that. Like you never print report, email it, print report, email it. It'll automatically send it, scheduled every week. You
Go to
know,
the PM or to the superintendent of that trade.
so.
And that helps out because we can't get field people a
Yeah.
little bit, but it's just, it's just seems a little burdensome a little.
Yeah, so I would say you want to schedule that to coincide with your weekly meeting. You know, if your weekly meeting's on Tuesday, you want to schedule it on Monday. So every Monday, he's got his report popping up. And then bring it up in your coordination meeting. Just say, hey, how y'all doing on these? You know, the more you talk about it in your coordination meeting, it is going to take a little bit to get them on, but I think that they'll see the benefit from it once they start doing it. And once you're pushing it. If you don't push it, they won't do it, right? Like you've got to push it. And then you're gonna hit some resistance at first, and then from there on. And then when they go to Gunner's job, your job, they know how to do it, you know, but as soon as one of you does not push it, then you're hurting the next guy because they'll be like, oh, well, Gunner didn't make me do this, you know, so it is a company-wide thing that we want to push for it.
And you're tracking that issue. You know, you said, hey, I talked to him in person on last Tuesday, nothing's happened. Both of you could have forgotten or whatnot. Now the issue still lasts, and now you see it again this week. Well, I thought I talked to him about it. Let's see what happened. Oh, Nothing's happened between.
We'll say we get the subs to buy into it, but.
Yeah.
Like, we got some subs used, some aren't. The subs that are used, nice, you know, we got the up-to-date sheet. and I
Yep.
check, you know, subs that aren't, they're going on sheets that already been been, like.
Yeah.
sheet.
Yeah, so we're absolutely gonna push on that on the, from the PM side, on the contract side, saying, when you're negotiating with subs, you've got to have this conversation with them, saying, this is what we require, and this is the benefit to you. So we are pushing that heavy on the front end, when we're negotiating with subs.
So with all these forms being. Feel like it could be. Setting that instead of remind. Right, is there any way, or would it have to be an external? That's like, hey, remember, do your daily report, hey, remember. Check the report or whatever, like if there's some way to get notifications to Excel to remember to do certain form.
I don't think I can set notifications on specific form, like on. the
Not like
form.
that, no.
Yeah.
Site survey and,
Yeah, so the site survey is in the files. That was another one that Austin suggested, we move over to forms, because you're gonna be doing that constantly, you know, so we'll move that over to forms, so it's something that's there that you can, you know, do, just like you did a daily report, you do your site survey.
And then
Yeah, so, I do want your thoughts on your weekly sub meetings. If it would be helpful to have a form that has some generic items and then you can fill it out for your agenda, you know, I'm not certain that would be helpful. It is in the file, so you can grab the Word document and then you can edit the Word document on your computer. I don't know. That's one that I'm not sure the best way to facilitate that, or maybe we just keep it how it is.
vary mine so much depending on where I'm at in the state.
Yeah.
I'm, 1 week it might be pretty long.
Yeah.
And it might be really condensed.
Right.
Depending on where I'm at.
Right.
Close.
Right.
My job is one.
Yeah, so that's probably why we would not put it in forms, because forms is pretty static. You know, it's the same thing from week to week, or form to form. There is another option on the computer called meetings that it's really robust, that you might consider using meetings. Or it's really, really easy to type out an agenda and you can issue, like, say, these are specific items for specific people. If you want to look at that, I'm happy to show that to you.
The PMs, APMs, PEs, they all got, we learned the web version, at least, so. They're also a chance to reach out to them if you have some questions, if you can't get us in your trailer, just another out there once or twice a week. So if you wanna pick their brain, that as well.
under the issue, Pat, can we add something for Sue?
Yeah. Yep.
This is my brain all.
Yeah, we'll add a SWIP. Probably, yeah, well, I'll think about it. It's not punch. We'll add it. Do you want a category for SWIP and then specific SWIP items?
I wouldn't think that'd be needed unless it's other.
Or do you want one SWIP stamp? So like we had the PPE thing where there's options underneath it. Do you want that? So you can do SWIP and then you can pick silk fence or sweep base or, yeah. Okay. You don't, I don't think you have to pick one of the categories. You could just do general SWIP. And then, but if you want, you can pick a
That's you
specific.
have to have that because you have a lot of silk and problems down the plate down by that. Silk and problems on all the sides.
Yep. Yep. Okay.
So let's say that, for that example, for Swift, let's say that we sign it to the contract for the trade. Can that, or does that supplement us sending an individual email outside of that? Like, if that sends an alert to them, is that enough?
I would follow up with them still. I would just say, hey, there's a number of SWIP issues on the job site. I just added them on Bill. If you have questions about it, let me know when can get.
And those issues need to be closed out like it would be a punch item.
Yeah.
Feeling good?
Chief,
2 thumbs up. Before we all leave, I have one request for you. One more thing you need to do for me. Pull out your phones. Yes, you do. I have a quick little survey, less than 2 minutes. Helps me out a lot. If you like me today, if you thought I could do something better, go ahead and scan the QR code. My name's Kenneth Swanson. We've been covering Autodesk Build. I'll ask you those 2 things.